Hello and welcome to the Subvert Podcast, your entry to the journey of the land of no easy answers, attempting to unravel the vagaries of the mind.
And we're back.
Did you miss us? We missed you. God, the effort we go through for you guys.
Oh, I put on a shirt and everything.
Hey,
everybody. Welcome to the Subvert Podcast. I'm Aaron Stewart. This, as always, is Kristin Rumor.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. And hey, you know, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that button. Hit it. The
Right now.
Puppets need it. They beg and they whine and they just want to get more eyeballs. They need more eyeballs.
The puppets are just screaming, "Give us more balls, day and night," and they won't shut up about it. So for the love of God, please give the puppets your balls.
It's 3 a.m. It's constant, just constantly just give us eyeballs, give us eyeballs.
So go on, hit subscribe right now.
You know you want to.
We'll wait. Done? Good. Now on to the episode.
Oh, right. We were talking about something. Yeah, so I guess we're going to get, we're doing these serious ones now, I suppose, or something. Got serious topics to talk about.
As serious as we can be.
Yeah, I guess it's people being murdered by guns.
Hot topic of the day. Yeah, gun violence. This is obviously on the back of the recent school shooting down in Texas. Yeah, and ridiculous amount of elementary school children being gunned down.
And again is the word that I have to keep using with it. It's just, at what point do you, I read an interesting statistic, you remember the old metal tipped lawn darts? Mm-hmm. How many of you out there remember the metal tipped lawn darts? Because they disappeared immediately after one child was killed with one. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing still that this whole gun thing is still some debate that we're having to have. They were talking about good guys with the gun and how they'll definitely, if you have good guys with the gun, they'll go in and now I guess the transcripts have come out or something where they're saying it was an hour or so before the cops even wandered into the room to try to stop the guy, right? Yeah. And it's like, but they're the good guys with the gun. They're the ones that were supposed to be, we got this, guys, let's go, ha-ha, and jump in there and save the day. And they had to stand outside and think about it for a while. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't envy them their job
either,
exactly, because, you don't know what the right call to make in that situation is, obviously after the fact, it's easy to say, oh, they should have acted sooner. Had they gone in, we could have averted this disaster, but the opposite could also have been true, Mm-hmm. And realistically, at this point, it's not the blame game of, who should have acted in this way sooner. It's, how about we just take out the source of what this is actually about? Right? Let's address the actual issue.
Or even just making sure that, 18-year-olds can't get a hold of them. I mean, it's this crazy...
That's a crazy idea, and that infringes on my rights.
I mean, definitely these children need assault rifles, right? I mean, their brains don't develop until you're 25. Like, literally, the logic part of your brain doesn't connect to the rest of your brain until you're 25. But let's give them a loaded, assault rifle that can unload 100 bullets in it.
Well, the question is, why does anybody need an assault rifle? And if you are in the States, please comment below, because
Bambi.
I am really... Bambis are huge problems.
Well, you remember Bambi too, Bambi Strikes Back, right? I mean, that was, as soon as you handed Bambi an assault rifle, all hell broke loose. That's just how these things go. Uh-huh. Apparently Winnie the Pooh is being made into a horror movie. Sorry, that was just a little...
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll cover that one on a future episode. I want to circle back to that.
That was... Anyway. but that's... Yeah, it was, when he sought revenge against his mother's death by hunting humans. I mean, that's where this whole idea of needing an AR-15 to go hunting was born from.
All right.
Yeah. I mean...
It doesn't make any sense to me. And again, I really do want to hear from people that do live in the States, because mm-hmm. I realize that is part of your Constitution, is the right to bear arms. And I am open to the idea of, I want to explore, why that is a positive thing. Right. But ultimately, I mean, I could maybe separate in my mind the need between protection, maybe like a handgun for home protection. I could maybe wrap my head around that. Obviously, rifles, if you are an avid hunter, but please somebody explain to me what the need for an assault weapon actually is, apart from Bambi. So we've got one solid example. Of a justified assault rifle.
If you see a deer with an assault rifle, I mean, yeah, that's justified.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But outside of a war setting,
and this is right, and this is my problem, you know, and so it becomes this issue of, and even in a war setting, you get this problem of, well, now you just need a bigger gun, right? Now the AR-15 does 30 rounds a second or whatever, so we need something that does 40, right? Or that shoots bigger bullets, or that makes bigger, right? Like, this is the problem with all of this, is it's just this arms race. And who benefits from that race? Well, the arms dealers.
Yeah.
Right? They're the only ones, you know, and the people that I guess have to go clean up the rubble, they're the ones that are, I guess, making big bucks out of this thing. You know, people suffering, misery. It's just...
So are you bringing it back to a lot of the issues we currently are facing, that there's money and people, corporations, and power at the top that are controlling the narrative because they profit off of gun sales and gun violence?
I mean, what else is there?
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of my problem with this. Again, if you could point out some other, right, if you could point to the Bambi in the room, right, and give me a good reason why to be afraid of Bambi, I'd love to hear it, right? And this is one of these land of no easy answer questions that we have on the show here, where we're hoping to have someone shine a light on what exactly is the other side of this thing.
Yeah.
Because I really struggle still to see this, you know, and other than a political issue where you feel it's your, you know, the right of something is, you know, tied to your political affiliation. I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's really just going out to kill things, like, what does that say about you? What does that say about us, you know?
Well, I mean, hunting is part of our, you know, natural behavior, you know, part of our DNA to survive. You know, we do have to have a bit of a hunting instinct.
Well, I mean,
Now,
hunting is part of a cat's instinct, right? I don't know that, I mean, like, because we can absolutely, now they've shown that a plant-based diet, they have world-class athletes on plant-based diets, right? Like, realistically, you know, it wasn't, you know, meat that actually, I don't think...
We can survive on both. That's why we have the digestive systems that we do. Arguably, I mean, this goes into a whole other topic, right? Arguably, you shouldn't rely, you know, solely on it. But we do have predatorial instincts like other animals do as well. So I'm not going to, you know, sit here and preach about, you know, plant-based versus meat diets. I think we've evolved to, you know, have both. But you know, there are still people, we do eat meat. So I'm going to say, you know, if you are hunting for that reason, if you're someone that goes out and you do like to hunt, kill your own food, be able to butcher it and all of that, then yeah, you know, like, I actually applaud you for it.
With your AR-15.
Now, if you're doing it for the sake of just killing, you know, like safari game hunters, just to go and fucking kill a lion for no purpose to use that in any way.
The rhinos.
Now I'm taking a bit of issue with it, and that's where I would like some explanation to be, you know, what does that do for you? Is there some benefit to this, or is this just a, you know, we're humans and better than everything else on the planet type behavior? I don't know. I don't want to say everybody's, you know, a piece of garbage that hunts, because that's definitely not true. I'm just interested in all the sides to it. But again, it's, you know, I kind of just wanted to go back to, you know, there's the argument with the current situation about, oh, it's a mental health issue, it's not a gun issue, right? And I think that because there are a lot of people that do own firearms that haven't gone and rampantly shot up schools or gone out and killed things indiscriminately, right? There's a lot of people that responsibly do own firearms.
Yeah, absolutely.
So of course, yes, it is a mental health issue. If you put any weapon into the hands of somebody that, you know, has an inclination towards using it the wrong way, you're going to have disaster, right? So what comes... Yeah,
I mean, then you look at the number of accidents that happen from just having a gun in the house, right?
Of course,
I mean, it just becomes a liability, right?
Well, that's it. I mean, like, I have a bow, right? I've never accidentally shot someone in my home with my bow. Could I?
I have many swords, and I've stabbed a motherfucker before. I mean...
Was it Bambi?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to really, you know, you want to really game out that thing, right? Like hunting a deer with a sword. That's.
I'd have a lot more respect for
you guys with your guns and your bows and stuff. I mean, you've never really lived until you've seen the light in its eyes go out. I mean.
I once fought a moose with a butter knife.
Yeah, right. Like, Gouged out its heart with a spoon, I tell you. Yeah, and so, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting to think about where we'll be moving forward here, right? Whether there'll be, any time where we can actually finally just lay down arms and try to move past this whole having to shoot and bomb each other into submission to get our way kind of thing, whether we'll actually make it better or whether we're just going to continue being this kind of
well, and that goes back
rocks.
to me, the whole, again, like, let's address the actual issue, which is why people feel the need to act out in the first place. And that ties in with almost everything else we talk about in the show. So if we can address why people feel alienated, why they feel isolated, why they feel bullied, why they are bullied, all of these things that separate individuals, so then you have the extremists that then end up doing these horrible things. Can we address the issues that have caused that? Right? I think that's where it all stems from. At the end of the day, these things are just tools, right? A gun is a tool, the same as a knife is a tool, the same as a spoon is a tool, right? It's how we're using it that causes the problem. So let's get to how we've become so separate. And my heart goes out to, the people that have thought that is their last resort, that have felt that outside of belonging to community, that they are capable of doing these horrible things in order to express that thought. And that's, gun violence is on the rise. There's probably, could make a graph, I'm sure, looking at the hyper individualization of society, and how that's being pushed in an increase in gun violence. I mean, surely we need to make this connection here. The increase in consumerism and all of this.
Yeah, I mean, is consumerism tied to the rise of guns, right? Like, is that something where now it's just a marketing thing, right? Like, do you love guns because they've marketed guns really well?
I would think that's probably a huge part of it.
Right, I mean, you can't go to an action movie without seeing that and wishing you were,
It's also
in that
a
role.
sense of inclusiveness and belonging, because again, if you feel outside of, and then you meet people through, gun enthusiasm, let's say, you now kind of have a little community. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not, condoning or, what's the opposite of condoning?
Shitting on.
There we go. One or the other, right? I'm just trying to understand both sides of this,
absolutely.
because I think, if you're a gun enthusiast, then again, power to you. I want to know more about it. If you are anti-gun, power to you. I want to know more about it. And instead of the two sides fighting each other and pointing fingers, how can we just learn to live together and to look at something that is, again, just a tool at the end of the day, as just a tool and not this hot topic issue? Right?
Yes,
we have to still use it.
Yeah, I think it's become this political issue, right? Like we said earlier, where it becomes this issue of, instead of being able to have an actual conversation of like, we don't want to take everyone's guns away. We just want it to be a reasonable measure where you at least have to have some sort of background check or some sort of something to be able to say that you are responsible, that you are qualified, that you have the training required to be able to carry this deadly weapon,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's asking a lot, isn't it?
I mean, just like they make knife jugglers get certified before they let them juggle knives. I mean,
what? What? It is my
just
right.
like the guys
it is my God-given right
have to get
to juggle knives.
Like, you have to get a flamethrower's license before you.
Where does one apply for a flamethrowing license? Do you stand in line at City Hall?
I mean, you can't just go tame a lion without achieving your lion tamer's license. It's just...
You have just shattered my entire
You can't just
world
climb into the
beliefs
lion cage with a whip and just expect the lion to do your bidding. I mean, it's just not like that.
My mom told me I could do anything I wanted to do. You're
and
telling me I have
that's-
to work for it and actually be responsible about things?
And so maybe that's
God,
a good
you're such a
metaphor for
buzzkill.
this. This is a lion that needs to be tamed, and one way or another, the deaths need to be dealt with. The deaths need to be addressed, and there needs to be some, You know, if you just look at the stats, it's tens of thousands of people a year die from gun violence in the States. And it's just, you know, and you just look on either border, and I'm sure Mexico has issues right now, but here in Canada, we don't have many guns.
Yeah. Oh, we do have guns.
We have guns.
Sure. We still have gun violence, not to the same extent.
But I think, but like the AR-15s, that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure those are not allowed or require heavily regulated.
They are, yeah, much more heavily regulated. I'm still shocked by that. I just assumed they would be equally regulated in the States. I literally just found out that they're not. You can just walk into a Walmart and buy an assault rifle. It's like, this is crazy to me.
Yeah. And that's right. So yeah, anybody that's not in the States that's now listening to this and going, "Wait, what?" Right? No, that's a thing, right? Just walking into Walmart, buying a shotgun, I don't know if AR-15s are in your Walmart, but yeah, it's probably just as easy.
Probably.
You can just order them online, and I mean, some states I think do have some sort of regulations, but you can basically just order it from the state next door, and they'll just ship it to you.
Yeah. But like, no questions. You know, I just don't get it. Like, what do you need this assault rifle for? Got to see a man about a deer.
And it's just so funny because, like, I work in a dispensary right now, and you know the rules that we have to have, where like if you don't have an ID, you have to leave. If you're not 19, you have to be like you cannot be in the store. We had a man walk in with a baby tied to his chest, and we had to send him away because baby was in the store, and we couldn't have baby in the store. And it was as if he was going to start feeding baby the weed. It was like, but.
Hey, you don't know that he wasn't going to.
You know, but just I sit there and I just go like, I can't have a baby in my store, but you can send a child an AR-15 and then just no questions asked. It's just
yeah. Yeah, I don't
and it's just it just makes me fucking cry that this shit is still happening. There's still people dying down there, and it just makes me so sad that you guys still are dealing with this shit. So I'm just gonna end it there. I think that's our right, like.
Well, this is one that we just want more kind of involvement in. Like I said, I am open to discussion. I just genuinely want to understand. I don't want to take a hard, because I don't think that I'm morally superior in any way by thinking that no guns are the answer either, right? Like I'm open to the idea that maybe they do work for a reason. Maybe they are of benefit, right? What we keep seeing in the news makes me think otherwise, but like, let's please have a discussion on this, right?
And that's, I think the vast majority of us are in the middle ground, right? Where it really, you know, like I don't want to take away all guns, but I need there to be some sort of say on who gets a gun. I mean, it should really just be as simple as that. We should have the say on instead of just everybody gets a gun. Have a gun, everybody gets a gun, yay, right? Like
it's like I would like to know my doctor is licensed to practice medicine. Same as I would like to know the person that's holding a gun over there is trained on how to use it. And I don't think that's asking too much. That's a good place to start, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that infringes on people's rights to say, yes, you do have every right to own a gun, but you need to pass some basic training first that is regulated. Perhaps, if that offends people, please let me know why.
I mean, I still believe that drivers should be retrained every 10 years. I mean, it just still boggles my imagination that we just give people a lifetime license for the next 80 years. You can drive around this like gigantic hunk of death machine. I mean, right? Like, what's a ring road? I don't know. Let's just go. Like,
well, I mean, you're right, because for most, you know, professions, you do have to retrain. You know, like psychologists, I need to, you know, retrain a minimum 30 hours a year, you know, of continuing education.
To make sure that you're still qualified to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So you're right. I mean, I think a lot of things should be the same, at least every couple of years.
Yeah. But this is where, like, I figure, like, driving around in Vancouver, it makes me very angry.
Yeah, I know.
And I just feel that...
You get massive road rage.
I just feel that, you know, if we were just retraining and just taking away the occasional license for people that didn't deserve it, right? Hey, buddy. He's right outside. Okay, maybe
the birds have chimed in on this episode.
Maybe I should have closed the door.
It was really warm in here, so we're like, we have to crack the window today for recording. Otherwise, you're just going to watch Aaron melt into a pile of sweat, which I know some of you do enjoy.
Which, as usual, I mean,
we've been getting so many emails about, like, more sweaty Aaron, yeah. It's the best part of the show.
Everyone's favorite character on the show, Sweaty Aaron.
How sweaty can he get?
Oh, sweatier than this, ladies and gentlemen. Just wait, the sweat is coming.
The sweat has just begun.
We'll have to record just 3 years worth of episodes just before it gets too hot. It's going to keep getting hotter, and we just need to just storm up.
Well, we're going to leave it on that image of sweaty Aaron and the ultimate question mark, as most of our episodes are. There are no easy answers. And, it's probably going to be an ongoing conversation topic. Our hearts go out to anybody that's ever been affected by gun violence of any kind. Our hearts go out to people that are conflicted on where they stand on gun ownership in general, And let's discuss it. Let's not demonize the other side. Let's try and owe that to each other as human beings, that we are all just trying to make it through. We all hold a certain set of beliefs, and whatever that person you think is evil has their justifications in their own mind. So let's try and understand each other to be able to collectively come up with solutions.
And let's try to challenge those beliefs every once in a while, right? Like what is that belief that you hold really dear, and is it worth holding that dear, right? Is it sometimes worth, just being open to that conversation, right? Like that's where this has to start from, I think, is this being open to, right? Acknowledging that, no, I don't know everything. And goodbye. All right.
Thanks for joining us again, everybody. And hopefully we'll be seeing you next time to engage in more conversations such as these.
Like and
The
subscribe.
bug flew into my mouth.
Nice. Awesome. A bit of protein.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got to shut the window.
All right. And on that note.
Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.